It's been quite a while since I've last uploaded a video, so I decided to run down through the current winter 2018 anime that some that I tried I'm not keeping, some that I need to watch more episodes of, and the stuff that I really liked. There's a few things that haven't come out yet, obviously. The few things that I'm looking forward to. I guess the Trigger anime, Darling in the Franxx is one of the biggest ones I'm looking forward to, because giant robots. But yeah, I'm trying something a little different. I'm gonna go with the stuff that I tried, but I'm just probably not gonna be keeping because the first episode really didn't grab my attention. Um, but yeah, starting with Haiku Hoshin Inji, which was kind of weird. It was like this almost retro, like 80s, 90s, somewhere around there kind of anime that felt like it got like a reboot. I mean, the designs are very retro in the way the characters look, and you downright to like big gloves and big shoes and just weird. I mean, the first 5 minutes was pretty cool, the fight they were doing, but after watching the first actual fight and actual episode, I wasn't really impressed. So I ended up watching about half of it and stopping before I cut the video. So, but yeah. Next is how to raise a mummy, how to keep a mummy. I tried like first 15 minutes of it, wasn't really blown away. It was really cute, but really not my kind of shows, and the pace was very slow. So yeah. Next is Pop Team Epic, which I know is the kind of the joke of the season that it's the best show ever because it's poking holes at a bunch of anime that and video games and movies. I mean, it's a funny parody, but I think this would be more better as like a 15-minute thing, like a short, rather than a full-blown 24-minute episode. But it was cut in half. You know, they did ran it once through with the male actors voicing the two girls, and they ran it again with two girls voicing the two main characters. So I don't think that's gonna be a thing every week. So this might end up being on my maybe personal watch by on the side because I do watch a lot of anime with my brother. We watch together. So there's a lot of these shows that I might not like, but he may like. So I ended up watching at least one or two things like that. Next is Miss Kozumi loves ramen noodles. Very slow. I mean, the gimmick is a girl in high school has this big secret, and the secret is she loves ramen. She's not. She's very antisocial. She doesn't like talking to people, and she likes to rather be alone eating the ramen. When a girl in her class kind of befriends her and kind of takes up an interest in what she likes, she just kind of is still kind of like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I personally, well, I found it to be very boring. The whole ramen culture thing is like I don't really care. So I'm probably not gonna watch any more of that. Moving on to the next category, the need to see more of, aka sort of the 3 episode rule that, by episode 3, if it doesn't catch my attention, I'll probably end up dropping. Starting out with Citrus, a story about two girls that hate each other in an all girl school, but one's a student president with a secret about, I guess she's gonna get engaged to a teacher, and the other girl is like this kind of preppy, stand up, kind of weird girl that, and the two of them get pushed together as siblings because her parents or her, I guess, dad or mom remarried, one of the two. But anyway, they don't like each other, so that's the gimmick. And the other gimmick is kind of a Yuri story because the sister that doesn't like the president's sister is kisses the other girl. I'm not sure how far that's gonna go, but I keep hearing things that it's a Yuri series, but not really. But we'll see. Next is Death March into Parallel World Rhapsody, a sort of online clone as much as you can get. But in this case, instead of dying or being in the coma, I think this guy just falls asleep in front of his computer and is sent to this game world. They don't really explain how that works or why that happened, but I guess you gotta take it how it is. So it is different, and he's kind of a programmer of the game, so he kind of knows a little bit about the ins and outs of the game. So during the first 5 minutes, he uses this OP attack, which is meteor, whatever, and it kills a bunch of lizardmen who are ranged from like rate levels 40 to like 80 or higher. And he ends up soaking up all the experience by doing this and max leveled everything. So now he's like basically OP God mode right now. So, which is kind of weird. I was talking to my brother about it, that that's not really how experience works in a game. Even like a game like World of Warcraft, if you kill something that's higher than you, it doesn't necessarily grant you 5 levels. But I guess if you did maybe kill 100 things at level 80 and you're only level 1, maybe, but still, that's even a, there's a, I don't think even games today would work that way either. But anyway, he gets unlimited points to put in all these different skills, so he can do whatever he wants in this game. So, but yeah, the question is, how did he get there? That's my biggest question right now. So we'll see. Like I said, more episodes. We'll see how that goes. But it's going to lean heavily in towards harem, which I'm not really a fan of. You know, OP dude, game world harem. So another one is Grand Crest Seki. The next one is it's like a fantasy guy and girl team up to do something. And that one, first episode felt really rushed. Like they just hit you with all the story real fast, and the girl, she's just, pushes this guy that she just met into forming a contract with her, which I guess contracts are a big thing in this series, and you get a crest, and I guess the bigger your crest is, the more influence or power you have, I guess, so in this world. And so it's a very weird setup. And first episode, the main guy he has a crest already, so he's from a noble family or a big family, and she kind of ropes him into getting another guy's seal, and he takes it over the castle and the land. So I guess that's how it works. So we'll see how that goes. Next is Hataka Kochishi Ramens or whatever. It's about the mafia or hitmen versus the cops type of story where there's a cop investigating these hitmen and all this. This one felt a little I don't know, rushed just like the other one. They just shoved you into the story and shoved you to all these characters that you're supposed to immediately understand what's going on, but it's very weird. And I just thought it was very funny. One of the hitmen is like this nerdy, like not very together kind of character, and he's like in like a shopping center or whatever, and he's got like duct tape, rope, some knives, and a bunch of gloves. So it's like clearly what it's kind of making him as a joke, which I guess he is. And even the company that the hitmen all work for is Red Rum, which obviously if you know what that means spelled backwards is murder or murder. So it's like so they literally work for a company named Murder, and like the cops don't. It's almost like the cops don't know what Red Rum is. Like, what is this? Like, come on, guys. But I'm not sure what's going on with that. And also, uh, main guy's a cross dresser for some reason. I don't know why he does this. He does it for a hobby. Next is Kokokuru, which is about superpowered people and this family that only they can like freeze time. But in one of the little brothers gets kidnapped, so all his family members have to come together to save him. But they don't realize that when they froze time, there's other people that actually can move around too, like them. So it's gonna be a weird, superpowered, I guess, mystery of like how can these other people do this same power that only this family can do? What's up with the power and all this crap. And it was cool premise, but it's very very kind of bland characters. I didn't care so much for it. Next is Killing Bytes, which is I joked on Twitter that it's the Kimono Friends of fan service and killing and stuff like that, or the dark version, which is pretty much what it is. These people are half hybrid human animals that can transform and they fight in a tournament. So it's very strange how that's going to work. I guess it's like a gambling ring around it where they place bets on these people who would win. So yeah, it's a weird concept. I don't know about it. It's very fan servicey. So next is Machin, which is about a girl who kind of is like sort of like Citrus, where she gets put into a new family and she's not very social. She stays by herself. She likes reading books. That's her escape. When she gets super nervous, she gets a panic attack and she has to read a book. That's like her little thing that she just can't get away from books. And she kind of wishes for a better life, a more exciting life, maybe I guess, and kind of loves books and fairy tales. So when the chance presents itself to go to a magical world, she kind of just jumps at it, knowing that magic is real, and she has this magical book that lets her, I guess, go to the other world. And the first episode ends with her, I'm guessing, is going to be enrolled in a magic school or take lessons and learn about magic. And that one was again kind of boring, like the other ones. Not a lot going for it, but we'll see how that goes. Next is Katana Maidens, which I'm 2 episodes in. It's not that bad. It might be bumped up to my enjoying list. But this one's about girls that have swords that they are, I guess, bound to whatever that are special and they give them these kind of special abilities. They also have to fight monsters that attack the city once in a while. So there's just this weird thing, and the storyline they're going with is one of the girls, I guess, they're invited to a big tournament to, I guess, fight each other schools and stuff like that. And instead of fighting the girl that she's assigned to fight, like in the duel, she runs towards the, I guess, commander or whatever you want to call her of this sword group. I guess it's like the big, like I call it like she's like a president almost of the sword people. But anyway, she tries to attack her and it fails, so she runs away. And the main girl kind of goes with her. It's kind of weird why she just left, but they kind of explain a little bit in like episode 2 that they want to finish their duel because she's a great fighter and wants to fight her finally. And then they also told us that the girl they tried to kill is actually not human. She's being taken over by like a demon, so the demon's controlling her, so it's not really her. And I thought episode 1 they kind of explained that it would have got the story better across, but yeah, I'm not sure about that one. It might be one of those kind of like Kong Cole Collection or Strike Witches or there's a bunch of other shows I could name that have the same premise where a bunch of girls with weapons fight, which I've seen a few of them that some of them are okay, some of them don't work, some of them I don't care for, but we'll see. And yeah, so we'll jump to the liked list, and I jump to the first one is basically the I think everyone knew that going into the season that the big hype shows was Card Captors. Card Captors, the Clear Card arc just started, and to for me, I mean, I didn't grow up on um Card Captors as much as other people maybe back in the day. I sort of got into it later. I think a dub basically. I saw it when it was dubbed on cable TV in the mornings. Like I just would remember catching some episodes. I never really finished it back then, but yeah, since then I have finished it not recently, but a while back I finished it. So and I've seen the two movies that I've kind of counted as sort of canon, but they kind of rewrote that in the first episode that it's Sakura's going into middle school finally, so she's gone up a grade. And so yeah, it's a very I mean, Card Captors is Card Captors. It's not a etchy magical girl show. It's just magical girl, kind of I guess the purest you can get. There's a romance between her and Lee that they're probably gonna. I hope they get to sooner or later because I will admit the first episode kind of was dragging on. They kept showing that this thing between the two characters, and it's just like, is this gonna be a thing the whole entire season? I really hope not, because it's gonna be 24, 25 episodes. So I really hope they can kind of get through that, but I know that's gonna be something that's gonna be always there because that's part of the show. So, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Next is Hakumen and Mikochi, which is kind of a fantasy tale about these two. I don't know if they're gnomes, fairies, or what they are, or hobbits, whatever. For all I know, they're about these very small people that live in this world that they, I guess, rely on each other and kind of live off the land, I guess. But it was kind of like Made in the Abyss, but not as. I don't think it's gonna get as dark. This is gonna be one of those feel good kind of shows you just watch to kind of relax. But yeah, for the most part, it's about these two living together and kind of living off the land and how they interact with the animals because they're only like 2 inches tall, and the animals are average size, and all the animals talk. They went to this like shopping center area, or yeah, something like that, bazaar, I want to call it, and all the animals were kind of like shopkeepers. Like cats were owning shops, and everything's like kind of to scale. So when you see like these little guys walk around, they're when they drink they even drink like beer and stuff and eat food, all the stuff that to scale to them. So it's small. So it's very unique, I guess, very strange. But if you like fairy tales, this might be good for you. But we'll see how that goes. Next, I think I like the skilled teaser Chanaki song, which is about these two kids in I think middle school. I think yeah, but she kind of has this thing with him. She likes teasing him, make fun of him, and all this stuff. And I guess the premise is if he can make her blush or be embarrassed, he wins, I guess. So it's a very strange concept. It's more of like a very gaggy, kind of laugh out loud series. But for me, I thought this might fall on the need to see more episodes of because first episode kind of drug that into the ground that she kept trolling him, and he kept messing up and yelled by the teacher, and they did that for the whole episode. But I'm guessing that's how they set up the characters. I just hope that's not going to be a thing every week. Constantly 20 minutes of him failing. But we'll see. Next is After the Rain, which is romance. I think one of the only romance of the season. But the story on this one is a 17-year-old girl falls in love with a here you go 45-year-old guy who works at this I guess family restaurant. But I guess they really didn't hint that she likes him or is in love with him. They kind of hinted that she kind of admires him, but I know she actually likes him because the episode tells you otherwise. So I'm not too sure about this one. I'm a little hung up on the whole age gap between the two characters. A 17-year-old and a 45-year-old together, it comes off as father and daughter, and it just seems weird that they would go that huge gap of age. I mean, I would have been fine if she was like a high schooler who has attraction towards this college student or a college teacher would have been fine, but it just him being on like her dad's age is very very strange. So yeah, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's Wit Studios is doing that, so Magus Bride, Attack on Titan, you know, Rolling Girls, so they do have a pretty good production staff. I mean, if anything, the artwork will probably keep me watching. But again, the age gap between the two characters just seems so huge that. And yes, I know the argument is it's not real. It's a story. Don't put so much focus on the real world scenario. But for me, it's kind of hard not to, knowing that it is a romance. So I can't get away from that. Sorry. Next is Mobushi Colors, which has this non Biori kind of vibe to it, where these girls kind of do whatever they want on a daily basis at this in this town. They come up with a mystery and they kind of go solve it in however fashion they can. But yeah, it's more of a cute show, a very cute show that these three girls kind of have to. They're basically playing make believe. But there's like a few characters like a shopkeeper who has all this interesting stuff, who kind of makes tries to make their lives a little interesting. Yeah, they really don't explain anything about like why aren't they in school and all this for that with the parents at. They just kind of hang out in this clubhouse and they do whatever they want every day and goof around. So it does seem a little weird that that happens, but it's maybe the way the characters are. See how that goes. Next is a Ryu's Work Is Never Done, which is about shogi. Uh, it's not that bad. I mean, it's better than I forgot the other one that's airing. It's still airing. But yeah, it's about shogi, and if you don't like shogi, then you're not gonna have fun with that one. It's a little bit fan servicey because there's a lolly involved who wants someone to teach her how to play shogi, and she's studied all his moves and watched him for years, and he's kind of this pro, so he's kind of training her to become the next Ryu, which the Ryu is like a highest rank in shogi you can get. I guess makes you really famous in that world. Next is Slow Start, about kind of like tells you what kind of title what it really is. There's a girl who kind of fell back in school and she's not very good at school, so she is kind of a year behind the other characters, I think. So she's just not good at school, and but it might be more towards like her not having friends or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's something like that. But it's kind of that girl who doesn't know anybody gets friends and slowly becomes closer to these characters. Yeah, it's another one, cute show. Place Further Than the Universe is a interesting series about girls who want to go to Alaska or Antarctica to find some girl's mom. And the premise does sound kind of silly, but it's again I think another one that shows about a girl who's out of place and needs something, friends or whatever, and through this expedition going there, she can make friends and all this stuff like that. It's one of the most interesting looking shows. I mean, the artwork is very nice. So you see how that goes with that series. I'm enjoying it so far. Next is Violet Evergarden, which is Kyo Annie's next big show. Kind of this like World War II type show, but they don't talk about the war anymore. I guess it happened during the past. And the main girl, she was I guess described as a weapon in the storyline that she just a very skilled fighter. And I guess we jump to aftermath of after I guess they won the war, but she got injured and lost both her arms or hands, so she's kind of adapting back to the real world how to get used to that. And she's a strange character because she only knew, almost like she grew up in the military, so she only knows about fighting, and that's all she knows. So she doesn't really know about uh, interacting with people and how to be human. So it's very strange. But yeah, another one of the Kyoani shows, so it's gonna be watched by everyone because this artwork is gonna be out, blowing everything out of the water, just like a few other shows in this list. But yeah, Violet Evergarden is pretty good. A little confusing at first, but because they don't really explain what happens to her commander, but she kind of explained at the very end that he said something to her that he loved her, so she's trying to figure out what that means. So she first starts out like as a mailman in this, but she switches to wanting to be a kind of like a courier. People in this world, I guess, don't really read. A lot of people aren't really educated and don't know how to write. So she is interested in this job where people will tell them what they want to say, and someone types it out on a typewriter. And since she's got mechanical hands and she can't really hold a pencil right, she decides typewriting is the best way she can get, do this. And kind of, I guess, doing so, she's gonna learn about emotions. Because so the first time she saw someone there typing or whatever, he told this woman that he wants to send a love letter to someone he loves, and she heard how passionate he was, and she wants to know more about that. So I think that's how they're gonna set it up. She's gonna learn how to, get emotions because through this process. So it's very interesting. And finally, the last show that I'm enjoying currently is Yuri Camp, which is about girls that want to go camping. That's pretty much what the series is about. Girls that just they enjoy the outdoors and that's what they want to do. And the main girl kind of just airhead that kind of really is very hyper. We met her like she was sleeping on a bench, and little by little she kind of got put into the series. Now she's really just not really the center focus. There's another girl who's a loner. She'd rather be by herself, not with anyone else. So I'm starting to see a trend. Well, there's a lot of shows about that, you know. But yeah, so yeah, camping's the main theme. And our main girl, she's got pink hair, joins this camping outdoor club is what she calls it. And she's gonna learn about going in the woods and camping, but she kind of already seems to be interested in that kind of world anyway. It's not like she's not aware of how to camp because she was, I guess she's gonna be learning through the process. And also, it's about the blue-haired girl kind of getting friends. Because in the first 5 minutes of the episode, the first episode, you see them together and they're all hanging out. So we're trying to get to that point, I guess, where she befriends these people in this outdoor club, but she doesn't want to join because, again, she'd rather be alone and not with anyone else. So she spends like most of the time out in the camping and all that stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I would say probably the fourth, fifth cute show I see, But yeah. So overall thoughts of the current season right now so far. Well, there's a lot of cute shows, like I said, and there's just if you don't like the cute girls doing cute things genre or whatever subgenre, it's not even, I don't think it's a real genre yet, but if you don't like that or slice of life, everyday living moments, you're not gonna really enjoy a lot of this shows this season. But thankfully, with every season, there's stuff for everybody. I mean, there's some historical stuff, there's some action shows, and again, not everything has come out yet. There's like I think 6, 7 shows still on the waiting list of things to come out. I have high hopes for Fate, the one that Shaft's gonna be doing. They're doing one, so I'm excited for that. Again, Dolly and the Franks, I'm really excited for because I love Trigger and Giant Robots, and this is the first Giant Robot show they've done since I have to say, I think forming Trigger. So I mean, they did something with Little Witch Academia one episode, but I wanted a full episode, and that's what we're getting. And it sounds like a lot of people that did Gurren Lagann and all stuff like that is coming back for this to help me with this show. So we'll see how that goes. Another one's like Beatless looks. I think it's the guy who made. I think it's Red Juice Designs, but I read somewhere that it's not. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, again, there's a lot of shows that I still want to see that haven't come out yet. So we'll see where they fall. But anyway, talk to you guys next time for something. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet with this channel. I'm just kind of going through what I want to do with it. So talk to you guys next time.